Venom. Venom. My, if you ever heard what I heard in the night, what a fright, must have been a parasite in my past life. I don't wanna ever come down from a high. My soul was sending to the sky, I guess it's you and I. Gone, but I'm feeling too alive, trying to get me out of spite. Someone's got me, yeah, take a big amount. Some kind of physical thing, some kind of traumatic shit. Niggas wanna see dead bodies, probably not there, rolling with no automatic clips. Moving scatty, all erratic and shit. Niggas pussy licking batty and shit. Oh, you mad? Then come at me, you prick. Make a move, better pattern it quick. I assume you'll be coming for blood. That makes two of us, that makes two of us. Venom. 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 True is to stick up, hands in the air, put the money in the bag, all cash, all cash. Venom. Venom. Venom.
I don't do much commentary anymore, but I felt I had to speak on this. My opinions on the Rachel Zegler thing, it's been kind of a back and forth type thing. On one hand, I'm like, I think people take the opinions of actors and actresses to this ridiculous extent. I think it's just not, I find it pointless that people care this much. And I still hold that opinion to an extent because I think, of course, I don't really go to movies and TV shows. I don't go to that to care what these people think outside of the actual material at hand. They're acting. They're in a different world in that moment, and that's all I care about. Rachel Zegler is only useful to me as a person, as an actress. I don't care about her opinions. But I will comment on the irresponsibility of people. So it all kind of clicked for me. One of the problems that we have today is the youth movement in this country, while it has heart, it doesn't understand how to do things correctly. See, olden days, people used to march, used to go out protesting peacefully, used to actually have more of a, to me, a certain refinement to things. Now when I watch these new age, I guess you could call them activists, whatever you want to call them, it's abrasive, it's not inviting. They call themselves inclusive and loving, but you disagree with one thing they say, you're all these horrible things. Before, it was so out of control, people just were like, what the F? They couldn't handle it. Now that we're older, we usually just like ignore these we'll just call them what they are, children. I mean, when you're acting like a child, you're going to be treated like a child. I hate to say that, but it's the truth. But when I look at the Rachel Zegler situation, this is another example of being young and not understanding how to handle things the right way. So I don't care what Rachel Zegler's political opinions. I never cared about any actor or actress's opinions on anything. I never understood why people cared what Brie Larson said in the first place. I didn't care then. I don't care now. I don't care what these people say. It's meaningless. I don't care that Anthony Mackie made a slip up and a fuck up at a fucking press release. I don't care. That has no bearing on if I think the movie's going to suck or not. And I can tell you this, I wasn't going to see Snow White regardless. CGI dwarves? Screw you, Peter Dinklage. Now that's harmful. People aren't talking enough about that. But when it comes to Rachel Zegler, this is a problem with this generation. And I hate to be one of those old men. I'm 27 and I'm already an old man about this, but it's not what you guys believe in. I hear this constantly. Well, at least we're not, and this is the new one, at least we're not supporting a genocide. Okay. See, an issue as sensitive as that issue, you guys know what I'm talking about, a certain issue on the other side of the world that I'm not going to really speak on, but it's not that you guys are what you guys are about, you guys supporting one or the other. It's the fact that you are having bad, conversations lacking nuance. It's like you're taking joy in one side getting hurt while the other side is the victim. And by the way, yes, one side is more of the victim than the other. Yes, it is true. That doesn't mean you condone these actions regardless when there's websites of certain things that are horrible and dehumanizing and you guys don't care, you only cheer it on. That's why you look disingenuous when people don't want to support your cause, because you just look bad. Your optics are horrible. But at the end of the day, the problem is these kids, they think that they are entitled to think these things because they think they're doing the right thing. So they're entitled to do it whichever way they want versus actually doing it the right way. So Rachel Zegler's the same way. Rachel Zegler, again, and I'm going to speak on and get into the real like portion of this. I just wanted to say this real quick before I get into it. There's a way to do things versus your way. If you want to do it the wrong way, don't be surprised when you get wrong results. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, so moving on from that into the actual issue at hand, because it's all like has relevance, believe me. Rachel has pretty much put the movie at jeopardy with her actions. Her interviews are terrible. Her attitude has overall been not great. But it's not really shocking from a young actress. The young actress is arrogant and very entitled. It's not really shocking to me. That's why I personally didn't care when I saw the interviews. I was just like, oh, I was right to hate all actresses. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have a complete bias towards actors and actresses. In fact, I'll just be honest, I despise the entertainment industry. I don't like any of them. I am of the notion that I think I see the worst in all of them before I ever see the best in one of them. And that is one of the things I'm trying to work on, but it is something that I feel. So cynically, it doesn't matter to me. But, of course, people had a reaction to a lot of the things she was doing. Their interviews were terrible, and they were terrible. The things that she was saying, it just comes down to lack of media training. Who are training these people? You shouldn't, even if you believe it, just don't say it. It's not how are you going to sell a movie like that? There are people who grew up with Snow White and you're trashing the original? Yeah, that's one way to get the core base that you branch out from. That's how you're going to get it. Yeah, okay. Let's kill the root of the tree before we plant the tree. Yeah, that's smart. That actually doesn't make any sense what I just said. I mean, yeah, but still, you're going to kill the root of the tree and then, you know what I mean, before the tree can grow. That's what I should have said. Yeah. ADHD, terrible. But yeah, you basically destroyed any goodwill you had. That's why, and now the sales are terrible because it's a pariah. And your studio clearly, and I'm sorry, the studio has not helped. I think doing what they've done has only made it even worse. Yes, she is in horrible media training, but it doesn't mean you give up and don't try. Because at the end of the day, you can't get much worse than some of the low points she's had. Cutting off her access, that's a terrible look. So when you do that, you've basically shown you have blood in the water and you know this movie is going to fail. You basically have just admitted it. This movie is going to fail. We know it, and we're just trying to run damage control. Well, you basically told us all that, so why should anyone waste their money? Again, granted, I was never going to watch it to begin with. This shit looked horrible. You have that going on. And then, at the end of the day, all these people coming in and coming out, it's even worse when you have like the son of the producer of the movie basically just putting you on blast. And what is the latest thing? Well, like I just referenced earlier, when I was talking about a certain conflict, yeah, she decided to write, Free Palestine. That on its own is not really damaging. I don't care. But few things you need to do. And I know some people are going to say, screw Gal Gadot because she's a blah, blah, even though none of you know anything about Gal Gadot. And you did no research on this person before you hated on her. I did. Gal Gadot was forced into the IDF, as every citizen is forced into the IDF at a certain age because it is law. Or you go to prison. And most of you complaining wouldn't last 4 days in jail, let alone prison. So shut up. So before you sit and say she should have refused, yeah, I want you to go outside, you to go pick a fight, and then go get put in prison for a year or two. I want you to do that. I want to see if you can handle it. Right? Because it's privilege talking. Y'all don't know. You don't know anything. And that's why we all look at you like we don't take you seriously, because you talk on things you don't even know. But anyways, just want to say it before I get the hate comments. And by the way, I looked into it. I'm pretty sure she wasn't even in combat. I'm pretty sure she was a dance instructor or something. It was actually like not even combat related. No shit. So all this came from literally nothing. This is what I'm talking about. Overreaction to nothing. Odd they haven't picked on Natalie Portman yet, who had to do the same thing, but I won't speak on that. And by the way, no, please don't actually go after Natalie Portman. Oh my God, I can't take another one of these. But, yeah, you should have probably thought to, I don't know, say, hey, let's talk about this before you went and did what you did. Because now, and by the way, this is not indirect, and the idea that you are doing this basically to antagonize your co-star. No, it's you are putting a narrative out there now that you just did that. Now people are now thinking this, and this, and it's creating chaos all around because of what you just did, because you didn't think. You didn't think, and now people are like, oh my God, she must hate her co-star, Gal Gadot. And who knows? No one knows anything until you just put the implication in their head, now they think they know. And the reports are really brutal too. Like Gal has to have extra security on her and her family, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And at the end of the day, like I said, and I'm going to say this, and this is going to sound, again, sad, but it's the truth. You clearly can't have it both ways. You want to be in a big project, there are people's livelihoods at stakes, and that's what I'm more annoyed for. I don't care about the actors and actresses that made their millions from this. Who cares? But when we're talking about people like the little people in the project that have to make their money from this and actually make a living, well, you screwed them over because of your selfishness. And I said this about, and I've kept this consistent because I said this about Gina Carano. Listen, I don't think it's fair for anyone to get fired for what they say, to an extent, but I will be honest, I also don't feel bad because you knew the risks. Gina Carano was warned multiple times. She was told multiple times, hey, stop doing this. Yes, you could say it's unfair, but you were warned. If it was a blindside, then yeah, I would fight for you. I always will. But you were warned. Now you have Rachel Zegler doing the same thing and having the same thing happen to her that Gina Carano did. And you can sit there and say, well, this is different because Gina Carano's a blah, blah, blah. You can, okay, cool. You can disagree on your beliefs, but it's the truth of one thing. And for the record, before we mention Pedro Pascal stopped doing, after his blow up on Twitter, because there was that one blow up, he stopped. I wonder why, because they told him to shut up. Disney tells you, if Disney's telling you to shut up, just do it. You're not an activist, so just actually do your job. And the problem is these people didn't do their job. Well, she didn't do her job. She, in fact, incited more nonsense. And now she's having to run all this major damage control. And it actually saddens me because Rachel Zegler actually is a talented actress. The problem is you're not established enough yet with enough classic projects that you can't get away with this. You don't have the seniority or pedigree. It's the truth. Once you get to a certain point in your career, you're that good. Ain't no one gonna care. I mean, hey, look at Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro basically does the same type of stuff Rachel just did, right? The difference between Robert De Niro and Rachel Zegler is pretty obvious, right? Robert De Niro is gonna go down as one of the top 10 greatest actors to ever grace a fucking screen. He is a legend. I don't like him personally, but god damn it, I respect that man more than anything. And I love Robert De Niro movies, like anyone would. He can get away with that. And that's a sad thing, but it's also seniority. It does matter when you build up a pedigree, when you earn the benefit of the doubt. And I know it sucks, but it is just how it goes. Rachel is young and doesn't have any bit of reputation to earn that type of bullshit, and you're sitting here causing all these issues. And it's for nonsense. And again, I understand this is a generation of speaking up and doing, this is also a generation of not understanding how to do things the right way, and then trying to be mad that people don't want to see it your way when you are being absolutely nasty about it. And this has been going on for the last fucking 5-6 years. I've seen it grow and change and metamorphosize into what it is. I remember when it started with just basic entertainment and be infectious then, and then what it's grown out to, and it's pathetic. I mean, it's to the point where I roll my eyes when I see these kids talk. I'm telling you, I put rules. If I will talk with people who are over the age of 25. If you are 24 and under, bro, instant block. I don't care what you have to say because I already know what you're going to say before you say it. And due to that fact, I'm not going to waste my time. You guys people like this have not earned any respect, yet think that they deserve to be respected above everyone else. They have entitlement issues, and I hate entitled people. So, it's my opinion. I think the Rachel Zegler thing is sad, but it's also not shocking. I don't like her personally, but that's not really anything to look at me sideways at, because I hate all actors and actresses personally. And yes, I don't like Gal Gadot personally either. But I don't. I think she sucks as an actress. I know, shocker, right? I don't like any of them personally, but respect wise to art, that's a whole different story. If this movie was never a good movie anyways, but you just made it way worse, and that's sad. Media training is a real thing, man. You need it, and I don't think this is going to destroy her career, but I will say this: it it's going to be something where she's going to learn a valuable lesson on just shutting up. Just shut up and do your job, people. It actually does matter. And I know that sounds crazy because it sounds like shut up and dribble, but it there are ways to go about things and do activism without having to be inflammatory. And the problem is none of these people have learned that lesson. And yeah, that lesson is it's a shitty one, but at the end of the day, you guys chose to be actors and actresses and put that as your career. So just do it. On your off time and you want to do activism, then do that. But when you have a project, you're on the clock, bro, just shut up and do your job. This goes for everyone in this country. People have lost the art of time and place. And it's still something that needs to be discussed, time and place for everything. So that's just my take on it. I have nothing too personal against Rachel Zegler. I just don't like actors and actresses. But she hasn't really come across as endearing, and frankly, it's just, yeah, media training, man. It's happening with him. It happened recently with Mandela Stenberg too, and now the seeing that the black community has turned on her for colorism is just fucking hilarious, by the way. I think it's the funniest shit ever. This shit's hilarious. But we need to really understand that I really would say this to actors and actresses. No matter how many people on Twitter come out and tell you to put your opinions out there, use your voice for act, don't do it. Do it on your own time and do it intelligently. Stop listening to people on the online spaces. These people are just wannabe radical cosplayers. They don't think straight. Because now look what you just did. And you did more harm than good. That's all I'm going to say. Y'all be good. It's insane. But yeah, the Rachel Zegler shit is kind of disappointing.